Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you today?
I'm also fantastic because I get to talk to a living legend. Don McLean is on the show today, which, funny thing is, up until just recently, I thought it was Don McLean. But he said McLean, so I was like, okay, well, we'll go with that. He would know. The song, Bye Bye Miss American Pie, you know that, and a bunch of others. He's got so many awesome songs. But going to talk to him because he's got a new album coming out, and it's really cool. I'm super excited to chat with him. You ready for a quote for today?
Ready.
All right. I had to adjust my monitor. I could barely see all the glare. I wish I could say it's because of the bright sun, but it's just the bright lights. Wednesday, April the 11th, the quote is, there's lots of bad reasons to start a company, but there's only one good reason, legitimate reason, and I think you know what it is. It's to change the world. Phil Libben said that. So, change the world. I plan to do that starting right now. Okay, maybe later.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, April the 11th, National Barbershop Quartet Day. I needed 3 other people to help me with that. Where were you guys? Oh, they didn't show up today. National Cheese Fondue Day.
I love cheese.
You know, I do too. National 8-Track Tape Day. National Pet Day. We got 2 of those. Actually, we have 3 now.
Yes, our daughter bought a fish.
We'll come back to that. National Submarine Day and National Bookmobile Day. This is National Library Week. So, National Bookmobile Day lands on the Wednesday of Library Week. So, we come home the other day, and our daughter is acting like she did something wrong. And she explains to us that, oh, hey, by the way, I got a fish. She's 16, by the way, our daughter is. And she just went out and bought a fish tank and a fish without asking for permission.
You know who's going to end up cleaning that thing.
Not her.
Yeah.
She can't clean the rest of her room.
Exactly.
Why would she start cleaning that? Anyway, it's National Pet Day today, so if you have one, happy Pet Day to you. If you want a fish, reach out to us. I'm just teasing. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, Colin Farrell announced that he's checking himself into rehab before he winds up in a really bad place. I guess he's staying at a $36,000 a month center in Arizona, so
Wow.
must be a good rehab center.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Checking himself into a good place to keep himself out of a bad place.
Exactly. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. I'm proud of him for stepping up and saying, you know what, I just, before I get into a bad spot, I want to do something about it. So, again, like I said, I've got a link. Probably not where I would be going because the $36,000 a month part. And there's some other really good places for, you know, a little less than that. But like I said, do have a link to it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. 37-year-old Lisa Christie Walter drank half a bottle of whiskey, then drove to a Billings, Montana business to get some marijuana, then drove her car through the storefront when she discovered it was closed and broke more windows with a baseball bat and a sledgehammer. She came prepared.
That's smart.
Police initially were called to Grow World. It's a hydroponic supply shop. They found Walter drinking from a measuring glass with her blue Honda Civic driven partially through the front of the business. 10 front windows to the business had all been broken out.
Wow.
There'd been a baseball bat sticking out of the rear of the passenger side, a sledgehammer sitting on the front seat, a bottle of Jack Daniels in the rear of the car. She reportedly was agitated because she could not buy marijuana from the business because they were closed. She claimed she had a medical marijuana card and had driven to Billings to buy the product, but she'd run out. Because she had run out. Arrested on felony criminal mischief charges and aggravated driving under the influence, the second offense.
Lord.
Her bond was set at $10,000, by the way. There you go. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. National Geographic is developing a TV series about the film Hidden Figures. Do you remember that? The ladies from NASA.
I do remember that.
I remember watching that. That was a really good movie. Ben Affleck surprised a Batman fan. This young fan has terminal cancer, and Ben Affleck did a FaceTime call with them.
Oh.
So, I want to talk to Batman. And they're like, that's not Batman. That's not really what happened. That is not who I think of when I think of Batman, though.
No, me either.
I do like Ben Affleck. I just don't think, he's my first choice as Batman.
I don't like Ben Affleck.
Kate Hudson is in the news. She's expecting a girl with her boyfriend, Danny. I don't know how you say his last name. He's the former guitarist from the band Chief. Now, this is her third child with a rock star. The first one was when she was married to Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes. Then she had a child with a guy from Muse, now Danny from the band Chief. So she's got a type.
She's kind of a groupie.
She's definitely got a... And she played a groupie in Almost Famous, which is kind of funny. The Lifetime show Married at First Sight, the guy on there named Jonathan that got married at first sight says that his marriage is not going well.
Imagine that.
I am not going to say the quote because I won't talk that way on the radio. So, but let's just put it this way. Maybe you don't want to go on a reality show and get, married at first sight. Just a thought. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com. EPA Chief Scott Pruitt is in a little bit of... Did you hear about this, over the weekend at all?
No.
He's in a little bit of trouble. Well, I don't know if he's in trouble, but he told Fox News he doesn't know who gave the top's two staffers a huge raise. Then he immediately corrected when he found out. I think it might have been him. I'm not sure. But
okay.
he's like, I have no idea who gave them that raise. Then they're whispering in his ear. He's like, I guess I do. Let's not talk about it, though. Delta Airlines says their customers' payment info was breached in a cyber attack. So there's a lot of that going on. I don't know what's going on, why there are people that are so interested in everybody else's info, but I guess that's what the world's coming to. Researchers at Binghamton, how do you say it? Binghamton?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Binghamton University. I probably got it wrong. Binghamton. How would you say that?
Binghamton.
You make it look so easy. That university. Researchers there found social media addiction stems from 3 personality traits. Neuroticism, conscientiousness, and agreeableness.
Okay.
Now, I've seen people on social media, and I don't know if agreeableness is something... I think it's the exact opposite of that, honestly. You could post a photo saying... Hey, have a great Wednesday, and somebody would say it's not Wednesday everywhere, There's some places where it's already Thursday.
I saw somebody posted a picture of peanut butter and dill pickle sandwiches, which I love.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good thing.
And 2 comments down, it was turned political. How do you turn a peanut butter and dill pickle sandwich into a political argument?
I think what we need to do is we need to have a politics off button on Facebook.
I was like, that is the most ridiculous.
That'd be great.
Everybody was saying, seriously, you're going to turn a sandwich into a political fight?
I can't wait
stupid.
Off the air to find out exactly what happened there. I'm not going to ask. A hibernating bear in Montana that came out of hibernation back on March 23rd. I don't know if there's a recent update, but just the other day, they were still waiting for this bear to come out of the tree. It woke up on March 23rd, and the bear was like, I'm just going to stay right here. So there's people hanging out, waiting for this bear to come out of hibernation. beware when the bear comes out of hibernation and finally does
He's
come
going
down.
to be hungry.
Yeah, you might not want to be hanging out at the base of the tree taking a nap. You're like, oh, hey, guess what? The bear came down. He was just waiting for me to fall asleep. I have a link to that story because I just think that one's kind of ridiculous. But if you would like to see it, it's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Also, this sounds like something out of a movie, but it is for real. You tell me if this sounds like a plot of a movie. A group of scientists believe that South Korea is developing a secret army of killer robots that could destroy humanity.
Wow.
Does that sound like a movie? Maybe I did a bad movie
It's
trailer
ridiculous.
voice, if that's what that was supposed to be.
Didn't they just host the Olympics? Now they want to make killer robots.
Apparently, that's because they got all that Olympic money, I'm assuming.
I see.
I'm not really sure what's going on. To me, it sounds like a movie. Not a good movie, like a sci-fi, terrible, awful movie that would become like famous online.
I'm
And
not a sci-fi fan.
well, they did the Sharknado stuff. I think this sounds like
Have
right
you
up there with
seen
Sharknado.
Sharknado?
No, I have not, honestly. I've not seen Sharknado 2 or 3 or 4 either, which, believe it or not, there are sequels to Sharknado. But this doesn't sound real to me. It sounds like it's out of the movies. A group of scientists believe South Korea is developing a secret army of killer robots that could destroy humanity. I wish I was kidding, but that's for real.
Huh.
And then one last story that really is from a movie. This is from way back before we were even born. Wizard of Oz. Some people call it one of the best movies of all time. My wife over here doesn't really like it. Why don't you like it?
No, I've never liked Wizard
I've always
of
kind of
Oz.
liked it. But a new report claims the Munchkins at Wizard of Oz on the set were groping a young Judy Garland during the filming, saying perverted things to her. So this whole Hollywood stuff that's going on now, it's not new. It's been going on for a long time. That is just, I knew you'd like that. And that's where we're going to stop because I can only imagine what you're going to say. This has been your Scoop of the Day, courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited for my guest today, Don McLean. He is the singer-songwriter from one of my favorite songs ever, American Pie. He's got a new album out right now called Botanical Gardens. Don, thank you so much for taking time to visit with us, sir. How long did it take to put together this new album?
Well, it took about 2 years, and then it took another couple of years to get it out because I had a record deal and lost the record deal, and then it came back again, and it had to be negotiated and so on and so forth. And then the artwork had to be done, and things move at a glacial speed. And so finally, it's out, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm really gratified with the response from people and from the interviewers who have spoken to me. I mean, I can feel that they genuinely like the record. It's not something they're just saying. So I'm happy. And I recorded another probably 20 tracks of stuff that I didn't write. And I have another album of things from the same sessions, which are just, rock and roll things and stuff that we do. Which is a whole other album, so we may put that out later.
And I'm reading here, this is your 19th studio album, so this is something that, it's not your first time doing this. Does it get easier as you go along, Don, or does it maybe get a little more difficult?
I think it gets a lot easier because I'm not as scared as I was, in the beginning. It was fraught with artistic and economic dangers, because you didn't want to put out something that made you look terrible, and you didn't want to spend all this money doing that to yourself, you can end up in debt very greatly and putting out something that embarrasses you, and that's not a good combination.
No.
So, what you want to do now, I think I know what it's going to be like, and I know how I'm going to get it, and too bad it took me this long. I mean, I could have learned this a lot younger. I probably would have done better, but I was lucky to have some very, very patient producers. Some of them were excellent, some were not, but and we got good results as a result of that. But the producers really helped me quite a bit.
And as a singer-songwriter, it's really, for me, it's really cool to hear these words come from the person who actually put the words together as well. But you also have, over the last 50 years, had the opportunity to write some songs that other people have made famous. And I'm looking at the list here. There's a couple of names we might recognize, like Garth Brooks and Elvis Presley and Madonna and, you know, the people on this list. It's got to be amazing to think, wow, I got to put a song together. They performed. What does that feel like to hear a person like Elvis Presley singing a song that you put together?
Well, I mean, you can't imagine what it's like to hear Fred Astaire do Wonderful Baby or Perry Como do And I Love You So. Perry Como was my mother's favorite singer. She was Italian, you know, and I mean, there's so many little and big dreams that have come true for me, and I never did anything but just tried to communicate with music the best that I could, and commune, if you will, with a lot of different musical spirits of the past, to try to write popular music as well as rock and roll that I felt like real rock and roll to me, not sort of stretched out guitar riffs and stuff, but you know, rockabilly, rock and roll, simple, straight ahead stuff, and folk music, which has a very important power to it. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, Aaron Copland, I mean, wrote symphonies around folk song melodies that are classical music, really. This is classical music in a sense, in a very real sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of music in all three of these categories, and that's really what I utilize in writing songs, and that's the songbook that I pick from when I sing songs.
Again, visiting right now with Don McLean. He's the gentleman that has, well, first of all, he's got a new album out called Botanical Gardens. We're going to talk about that, but then also the song, one of my favorites of all time, American Pie. And I remember watching Garth Brooks sing this in Central Park, and he had a special guest that came out to sing with him, and it was you. When you came out to sing with him, it was so fun for me to watch Garth Brooks watch you sing. You could just see he was enamored to be standing on the stage performing this song with you. That had to be a very special moment for you as well, to have all those people, or just gobs of people all around you.
It's hard to it's hard to figure out what to do about Garth Brooks. I mean, he is so sincere, and yet he is so credible as a performer and also as a star. You know, he's a big star, and he's been a big star for a long time. And he really has he's got the pulse of the public, right, his fingers right on it. He knows just what's happening in a very, very profound way, and he knows how to market himself to those people, and they love him. And, you know, and he really loves me, he really loves my music, and so that is and I think that to some degree the American Pie album had a big influence on his singing and writing style, or so he's told me. A lot of kids coming up who became big stars would take my albums and, you know, listen to them and, you know, maybe try to sing like me or try to figure out this is how you write a song, you know, this type of thing. I know that Mike Mills from REM said that. So this is all beautiful, and I'm just so happy I was able to give something to people.
Well, and a big thank you from this side as well for doing what you've done. Again, not just that song, but so many of your songs that are beautiful, beautiful. Every single one of them, when you look at it, just unbelievably nice. And you've got this new album, the new official Botanical Garden album that it just came out here just recently. And if people want to get this, can they find this online, or where do they find a copy of this, Don?
It seems to be everywhere, so I don't think you have trouble finding a copy, but I don't know where you do any of this stuff anymore, because you get it on Amazon, of course. You get it on you can download it on Spotify and all these things, there's a radio mix now of one of the songs called "A Total Eclipse of the Sun," which is actually a true story from when I was a teenager. I broke up with a girl out on Long Island, and I couldn't get home, so I was at her house when they had this total eclipse, and then I saw her 10 years later, and it still floored me. And the song's all about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, the album is called Botanical Gardens. I'm going to have a link online to make it really easy to find. Don, thank you again for taking time to visit. I'm looking at the schedule you have coming up over the next month or two, and there's a lot of dates on here. You're going to be all over the place between the United States and Europe, so you got to start packing your bags. You got a long trip ahead of you.
You know, you're right. I got to take my vitamins. I got to lose weight. I got to get about 10 years younger. I'm working on that. We'll see what I can do. I don't know. If I come up with anything, I'll let everybody know.
There we go. That sounds great. Don, thank you again, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, man.
Again, Don McLean, and his new album is called Botanical Gardens. It's available right now. I have a link to it to make it really easy to find at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
I have just one fun fact. It says La Paz, Bolivia, has an average annual temperature below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it has never recorded a 0-degree temperature. Same for Stanley, the Falkland Islands, and Punta Arenas, Chile.
Okay.
So there's a place called Stanley in the Falkland Islands and Punta Arenas in Chile. So all of those places, the average temperature is below 50 degrees, so it's never like super hot, but they've never had a 0-degree temperature, never gotten that cold.
Huh.
So that's like their comfort zone right in there. So if you're looking for a place with, would you call that perfect weather, or would you say that's a little too chilly for you?
50 degrees?
50 degrees, yeah. But it's never gotten below 0, so...
Yeah, probably a little chilly. I don't know.
Well, for those of you who are interested, Bolivia and the Falkland Islands and Chile, that's where we're talking about. This has been your fun fact. And again, sorry that I only have one. I thought I had 3, but it turns out this is something different. Couple of fun facts, or just one, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. It's haberdashery. I'm going to try that again.
I'm sure you nailed that.
Haberdashery. Haberdashery.
Haberdashery?
Haberdashery. Harbergery.
Isn't it a clothing store?
Nope. It says a place of entertainment such as an inn, tavern, or public house is a haberdashery. So the haberdashery is a place that you buy hats, right?
No, I think it's a men's clothing store. Haberdashery.
I've heard it both ways.
They probably sell hats too.
Yeah, it could be. A place of entertainment such as an inn, tavern, or public house is a haberdashery. Haberdashery. From Middle English, herberewe, probably from Old English, herberbeberg, it means lodging. And, the time means that we're done with our ridiculous grandiloquent word for today.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now some weird news for you on a Wednesday. 54-year-old Raymond Nuri of Miami, Florida was arrested after he forgot to take his gun out of his son's backpack and then proceeded to enter the boy's school, take out the gun, and then exit the building. What are you doing? Police say the father left his home Thursday morning to take his 8-year-old son to elementary school. For some odd reason, he had put his pistol in the boy's backpack and forgot about the weapon. Instead of calling authorities, he walked into the school and asked administrators to summon the boy with his bag. Inside the office, he fished around in the bag, pulled out a gun and stuck it in his waistband, then walked out of the school. He was arrested and charged Thursday with possession of a weapon on school grounds, improper exhibition of a weapon, and possession of a concealed firearm. He was booked into a jail Thursday. That is crazy.
Why would he have put his gun in his child's backpack?
I don't understand why it was there. It makes no sense to me. That is why we call this weird news. That could have been our moment of duh because it's kind of interchangeable today, but it's not. It's our weird news. I have a link to it on our social media as well. Weird news courtesy of 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, courtesy of Learn Without Loans. A bizarre mugshot of a woman with heavy facial tattoos and piercings was released after she threatened to bomb a 7-Eleven in Virginia. Here's how she threatened. She placed a device on the countertop. 33-year-old Crystal Mostek walked into the 7-Eleven, placed a device on the counter, then she reportedly told the clerk it was a bomb. Virginia Beach Fire Department says that Art Cohn was the guy's name from the department there. He asserted that the woman threatened to blow up the store. It was later determined that the device that she sat on the counter was not a bomb. She was charged with threatening a bomb and possession of a hoax device. Her mugshot showed her with several tattoos and piercings on her face. She appeared to have a lot of eye makeup as well. And that's just a bad idea. That is the moment of duh.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? What would you rob at a convenience store these days?
Right?
Because people use a debit card. I've not looked in a cash register lately, but I've not seen anyone open one in like 7 years. Everybody uses debit cards.
Yeah.
I mean, who uses cash? Why would you rob a place that doesn't even have what are you going to get? 12 bucks?
$30.
It's a bad. Don't rob anything ever. It's just not a good plan. But that's why this is today's moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, are you ready for today?
I am ready.
All right, here's your Fake News or Florida. These are either fake news or something that actually happened in Florida. Oh, I always got to hide this because I don't want you being able to cheat. Lawyer's pants catch on fire while defending a client accused of arson. Fake news or Florida?
Oh, I'm going to say fake news.
No, that is Florida. True story.
Hilarious.
A sheriff arrested for getting a DUI in a police cruiser. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
No, fake news.
Oh.
2 for 2 wrong so far today,
I
Heidi.
know.
Look at that. When I cover things up and you can't cheat,
whatever.
you don't
You're
do as
such
well.
a liar.
And our final fake news or Florida all comes down to this. You're either completely wrong or you have a shred of dignity left. I'm pulling for you, Heidi. I really am. A man arrested for having, we'll just say, relations with his pet dog in his yard.
Oh.
Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Yeah, sadly, that is true. Don't know exactly what was going on there, but yeah, pretty gross. These stories, sadly, continue to pile up, so I've got way, way, way more than I thought I would have. So hopefully this feature is done someday, but as long as people keep doing dumb things in the state of Florida, I guess we'll continue to have plenty of fodder. We do have some good news to get to. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to jordangoodman.com. Again, jordangoodman.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Time now for some good news. We always like to wrap things up around with good news. And this is good news.
All right.
It's coming your way right now, courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription service for ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. So this is kind of a fun story. I don't remember if you sent this to me or if somebody else sent this to me. You've sent me quite a bit of stuff. But a heroic Fiat Chrysler designer used his Jeep to push a burning car away from a car crash that had 2 people inside of it. Did you send this to me?
I don't remember it.
Says,
it's been so long since you've read any of the stuff that I
didn't
sent.
mean to. I just had other stuff coming in from other people.
That's
I was like,
good.
I got to get to these. In an action that a local fire chief called heroic, Ralph Giles, Fiat Chrysler's global head of design, used his Jeep Wrangler bumper to push a burning Ford Edge away from a crash from a Ford Fiesta that was crashed in it, a Ford Festiva. Anyway, a lot of vehicle names that we just have in this story. It almost feels like it's sponsored by the car company. The trapped occupants first arrived on the scene. He showed up, and there was what he thought was going to be a fatal car crash in a suburban Detroit area. After midnight Sunday, it says a vehicle traveling down a rural road crossed into the oncoming lane, struck a different vehicle that had 2 occupants inside. Anyway, this guy stopped, and he saved the day. He pushed the burning vehicle away from the other vehicle and saved them, and is an absolute hero. And this story, for whatever reason, has a lot of vehicle names in the title. Couldn't they just say a car?
Here's what's interesting. He designs for Fiat, but he drives a Jeep.
Well, I think
Does
that
he not like his own designs?
No, the company's all owned together, I
Is
believe.
it?
Yeah. Fiat, Chrysler, Jeep. Because I know Chrysler and Jeep are together. So he's a Fiat Chrysler designer, and he drives a Jeep. So anyway, again, we way off subject here. the type of vehicles don't much matter. Here's what matters. A dude driving a car of some sort that happens to be a car. He stopped to save some people.
To help people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know why they have so many.
I don't know.
It's like every line had nothing but car names in it. And it continues to go on. I've got a link to it if you want to read the good news. If you want to read around all the brand names, you can. It's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today, Jordan Goodman. We talk to him about once a month. We always get kind of updated on things that are going on in the financial world. And Jordan, it's been an interesting world. We've got some, trade war information that's been in the news and a lot of fun stuff. This has to make your job a little more interesting when you have all this stuff going on, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, people really weren't expecting it, John. I mean, Trump during the campaign had talked about being tough on China in various ways. But, he didn't actually think they were going to go ahead and have a trade war. Now it looks like we are. I mean, he started with steel and aluminum, and then they responded, and then he responded with $50 billion in tariffs. China responded with $50 billion. Trump responded with $100 billion. This is escalating every day, and this has very wide implications, John, for consumers, for investors, for workers, just all kinds of different things. Because if we do, in fact, have a trade war, that will really slow the economy in a major, major way.
So who would notice that first? Would it be people that are maybe trying to borrow money or people that are maybe saving money? Who's going to notice it first?
Well, the markets have been extremely volatile because of this, and people exporting to China. For example, farmers. We export about $14 billion worth of soybeans. That's just one example. The tariffs that China put on our products was about 1,300 different products. So that means that they're going to sell a lot less soybeans to China, if not embargo. They may not take them at all, or certainly at a higher price. Makes us less competitive compared to Brazil or other places like that.
Yeah.
So I think farmers could get really hit badly by this. Exporters like Boeing and Caterpillar would be two examples. export a lot of stuff to China. Again, if their prices all of a sudden are 25% higher, it makes them less competitive. So that's going to hit American workers working at companies like that. So that's kind of on the export side. On the import side, it means that the price of Chinese goods to Americans is going to go up a lot, 25% or more. So when you go down to your Costco or Walmart, and all the stuff that you like so much that's from China, it's going to go up in price dramatically, 25%. And that could feed into inflation as well, because the consumer is going to have to pay more.
So now, how long does it take for that to get to the end consumer? Does that start right now? Like they change the prices now, or do they wait until they have the next shipment of stuff that shows up typically?
No, next shipment. They can't move quite that fast. And in fact, I mean, the tariffs, they're talking about them right now, but they have not, in fact, gone into effect. Although they're pretty close to that, they have not actually happened yet. They did happen on steel and aluminum, which was aimed at China and Korea and other places. But the broader tariffs, the $50 billion, the $100 billion, is a proposal. I would call it a battering ram, I guess you should say, but it has not actually gone into effect yet. But over coming weeks, see, this is like a big game of chicken, John.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to back down? Are we going to back down? I think Trump is going to be pretty strong on this, and frankly, I think Xi from China is very strong on this. I've been to China, and the big part of the culture there is saving face, is the way they put it. Okay, you don't want to be seen to be weak in any way, right? And Trump's style is in your face, not saving face.
Yeah.
And so the harder he pushes to say, stop dumping steel and aluminum, don't devalue your currency, don't steal our technology, all these things that he's objected to for a long time, which I think are completely legitimate. But the way to get them changed is with a battering ram in his mind. And I don't think the Chinese want to be seen to be caving in. And every time he's done something, they want to come out just as hard. I mean, people talk about Trump being a counterpuncher, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Chinese are counterpunching here. And so that's why, unfortunately, I think the likelihood is we are going to have a trade war. It could get much worse because neither side wants to be seen to be backing down. Trump says we've been a doormat too long, and we're not going to do it this time. And his advisors, people like Peter Navarro, Lighthizer, the trade representative, Larry Kudlow, Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, they're all egging him on, saying, yes, this is our chance. Hit the Chinese really hard, and then they'll cave in. And on the other side, on Xi's side, he just made himself emperor for life. So he doesn't care what anybody says. Now, I mean, I think he's going to be tough, but conceivably he could say, okay, I give in. We'll concede to these things. Let's have more open trade and all that. And that would be hugely bullish if that were to happen. But I just think that's pretty unlikely with what's going on right now, John.
If people would like to stay up to date on what you're doing, is there a place they can find you online to maybe follow along with your conversations on this?
Absolutely. MoneyAnswers.com is my website. I get emails from your listeners all the time and love to help them. And one question I get from them is, what am I supposed to do with my money in this kind of very volatile environment? And the stock market's been just soaring and plunging and soaring and plunging, and are we going to have a trade war? We're not going to have a trade war. I'll tell you what happened, and I've recommended this. A lot of your folks have done this. I like these secured real estate funds as a way of earning an 8% yield with no market volatility. Now, it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, and you're sitting there instead of keeping your money in a savings account earning 0, you're getting 8%. So there's a website for that, securedrealestatefunds.com. To learn about how to earn 8% of your money over 1 year, minimum $5,000, with no commissions or anything like that. So sometimes you got to take some money off the table, John, and hide a little bit, and that's what that secured real estate funds allow people to do.
Very nice. And I'm going to throw a link to that on our Facebook page to make that easy to find, and a link to Jordan's page as well. Jordan, thank you again for taking time to chat.
Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
Again, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. I've got a link to all of the info at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.